So first I go on stage, right? And I was shooting Under Armour. They're like, yo, go on stage, hype up, rolling out. I said, you sure we should do that? And they were like, yeah, do it, right? Nah, I got booed. Chat.
You were standing on a stage in front of thousands of people. You heard the booing, the water bottles confirmed it, and your response was to look out into the crowd like a lost sim who just had their needs bar hit zero and asked boo? Like maybe you misheard, like maybe thousands of people all simultaneously sneezed in your direction. Streamers offline are basically NPCs. Not the cool NPCs either, not the ones that give you quests or sell you legendary weapons, the ones that walk into a wall for 4 minutes and don't notice. Let's start with Rakai, because this happened on May 9th in Orlando, and I am still not fully recovered. Rakai was brought out as a surprise celebrity performer at Rolling Loud. Now, when you hear surprise celebrity, you think, okay, who's it gonna be? Someone the crowd already loves, someone whose name alone makes people lose their minds, a name that makes you grab your friend's arm and point at the stage. Nobody in that crowd grabbed anybody's arm for Rakai. The booing started immediately, and not polite, confused booing. Loud, committed, coordinated booing. The kind of booing that has energy behind it. The kind of booing that people practiced without knowing they were going to need it today. Water bottles started flying, and Rakai, bless him, stopped mid-performance, looked out at thousands of real human beings, and said, boo? Sir, they are not glitching. This is not a lag issue. This is not your internet connection. These people are working as intended. He eventually walked off stage. The composure was impressive. The situational awareness that led to the situation was not. Here's what happened. Rakai's fan base is young, online, at home, watching the clip of him getting booed on TikTok. They are not in Orlando. They are not at Rolling Loud. The people who pay for those tickets are a completely different demographic who had no emotional reason to care about a Twitch streamer showing up at a music festival. Someone offered him a check to be there. He took it, and the crowd invoiced him for that decision immediately. Now compare this to I Show Speed performing at Rolling Loud the previous year and getting actual cheers. And Speed's music is, look, we are not going to talk about Speed's music, but people cheered. Why? Because Speed has spent years building a presence that exists outside of a Wi-Fi connection. He goes to other countries. He shows up in person. He has fans who chose him before they were standing in a field. He put in the real world work. Rakai has not done that yet. The crowd knew the difference and communicated it clearly, loudly, and with projectile. Gets worse, it always gets worse, but wait.
Oh, pussy.
Rakai was not even the only streamer who had a bad day at Rolling Loud. Neon was at Rolling Loud, California, and his situation was somehow more painful because at least Rakai was a surprise. Nobody expected Rakai. Neon was invited onto the stage directly by the artist Dave Bluntz. He walked out there with a relationship, with context, with every reason to think this was going to go well. The crowd started chanting before he could do anything. Not booing, a coordinated chant, which is arguably worse because that requires organization. That requires multiple strangers in a field to look at each other and collectively decide, yes, this is worth the energy of coordination. Dave Blunt started laughing on stage, during his own set, because what else do you do?
I try to talk to my friend who's performing.
And then there is Black Boy Max, who is actually the most tragic entry on this list because Max is genuinely trying to be a musician. This is not a check situation. The man has Spotify numbers. He has real collaborations. His music has actual defenders. He belongs in the conversation more than the others. But Rolling Loud taught him something very specific. He tried to get the crowd to finish his lyrics. He pointed the mic at the crowd the way artists do when the crowd knows every word, and not one single person in that entire field finished the line.
5-star! Oh, pussy, on the guys, pink stone.
Not one. The silence was so complete, it had its own atmosphere.
Niggas was throwing little ice packs. That shit was annoying me. They trolls. Y'all are trolls.
It's for the culture, man.
Nah, dad took a nigga phone and just launched that shit. That shit's
And
done.
I took somebody,
Nah, hell no, cause it's like, nah, it would have been funny if I started, who threw that on me? But it's like, nigga, what the fuck? I can't give up on it, guys. Everything I do to
The people who were telling him his music was hard in his stream chat were at home. They were not in that field. They were watching on a screen telling him he was the greatest, while a real crowd of real humans with real opinions stood there completely unmoved. And then, backstage he walked up to Northwest, Kanye's daughter, 12 years old, and told her that her content was fire, to her face, with full commitment, like this was gonna open a door. She said, "Nice to meet you," shook his hand, and was already walking away before the sentence had finished landing. At 12 years old, she has more industry weight through her last name than he does through actual output. He was the fan in that interaction. The body language confirmed it before anyone had time to write a think piece about it.
She already going. She already went. Damn. North. Nice to meet you. I really like your new thing. North Forever, that's just fire. No cops. Nice to meet you. She already going. She already went. Damn. North. Nice to meet you. I really like your new thing. North Forever, that's just fire. No cops. Nice to meet you.
About it. Here's the thing. Online, a streamer is the main character. Always. The chat reacts on command. The clips get shaped the way they need to be shaped. If something goes wrong, you go offline, reframe it, come back when people have moved on. The entire environment is built around them. Custom map, God mode on, NPCs set to friendly. Then they walk outside, and the real world does not have those settings. The crowd at Rolling Loud does not have a follow button. They cannot be timed out. They showed up with their own opinions fully loaded before the streamer even walked on stage. And the moment you step onto that stage expecting your stream chat energy from people who did not choose to be your audience, the gap between who you are online and who you are in person becomes visible to literally everyone with a camera phone. This is the NPC moment, not because they are bad people, but because outside of their own stream, they do not have a script that works. They stand there waiting for the crowd to react the way the chat does. And when it doesn't happen, they freeze. The internet is a wonderful place. It will tell you that you are the greatest. It will clip your best moments and leave the awkward ones on the floor. It will build a version of you that is larger and more beloved than the one that actually exists in the physical world. But eventually you have to go outside, and when you do, the crowd does not load your stream chat. It does not cue the hype. It does not send the W emote.
Hey, look! Alright, are y'all ready to watch it? I'm gonna show y'all niggas right now, bro. What could you talk about? Alright. So boom, right? Look, so boom. Hold on. So look, so look. Boom. I'm with Under Armour, and they're telling me I'm back here. I'm literally right here. I'm right here. They say walk and hype the crowd up. Okay, so what should I do? Cheering! I told y'all, they're literally cheering. They're cheering for me, okay? Look. Wait, hold on. Are they saying boo the whole time? Wait, child, what does it sound like? It sound like it was booing? Or that's it? Child, no, child, say. Child, when I said yer, they said yer. Lloyd Dean, they said yer. Hold on, let me hear. Hold on, let me hear. Yeah, it's a mixture. It's a mixture. Cause I'm telling you, chat, when I was on stage, I think this is what happened. Nigga. This is exactly what happened. I went on stage and I stood there for too long. Like, it was like a 70 out of 30 people were saying, and yo, I think I went on stage and my ass standing for too long. I should have said, yo, make some noise, and that's it.
Subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.